If you're new to fasting and you're feeling a little overwhelmed and not sure exactly where to start, I got you. Step 1, fast. Yeah. It's that simple. The moment you swallow your last bite of food for the day, or you swallow your last drink that has calories in it, hit your timer because you just started your fast. Listen, fasting does not have to be complicated. It is literally the moment you stop consuming calories. I think a lot of us get into this place where we're trying to overcomplicate something here. It's either that or it's because you are trying to push for something too hard too soon. And I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with pushing for a longer fast, but if that is the only thing that's going through your head and you're telling yourself it's either a 90-hour fast or it's not good at all, that's your first problem. You gotta erase that mindset in your head. This isn't a question of how long I can fast for. This isn't a pissing match about I can fast longer than XYZ. Look at how long I fasted for. Nobody fucking cares. The important question here, the important thing that matters here is how consistent can you be? I'm not taking anything away from anyone who fasts for long periods of time. You have all seen my track record. You've all seen what I've been able to do. But I think what's more impressive for me is the fact that I have been showing up every single day now for 14 months. What timer you use is up to you. You can even use an old school clock if you really need to. Just record the data, be accountable, and stay consistent. You might not realize this, but you're already fasting every day. If you sleep, you're fasting. You're taking time away from consuming any calories. So you already have some experience with this. Whether you want to believe it or not, sleep has such an important place when it comes to fasting. For many of us, going to sleep is the beginning of our fast. And think about it. If you're somebody who has trouble sleeping, if you're only sleeping 4, 5, 6 hours a day, you're already taking time away from yourself when it comes to fasting. Imagine sleeping for 8 hours a day. That's 8 hours onto your fast already. But not only that, you get to wake up refreshed and ready to go. Think about it. Sleeping extends your fast. This is another way to extend your fast. I know this is kind of a beginner video when it comes to fasting, but I'll tell you, if you can work on bettering your sleep, if you can get yourself into a good sleep routine, you're already gonna be a step ahead in the game. Let's say you swallow your last bite of food at 8:06 p.m. 2.5 hours later at 10:30, you are going to bed. The next day, your alarm goes off at 6:15 a.m. You've now been fasting for 10 hours and 9 minutes. If you decide to eat breakfast at 6:30 a.m., then you've fasted for 10 hours and 24 minutes. Congratulations. If you can push your fast until lunch and break at noon, then you've fasted for 15 hours and 54 minutes. Congratulations. And I don't know about you, but for me personally, when I wake up, let's say for example, I'm fasting for the entire day, I go to sleep, I wake up in the morning, that is probably for the entire day, the lowest that is the lowest point in my hunger. I am not hungry at all the moment I wake up. But really, this is where routines come into play. In the evening, I have a sleep routine for the most part. Some days, I'm not gonna get the most amount of sleep, but I strive to. I am trying to get better about it. But in the mornings, I have a routine too. When I wake up, not hungry at all, but the first thing I do when I get up, almost always, 99% of the time, I wake up, I go to the bathroom, I step on the scale, and then I put my socks on, my workout clothes on, put my shoes on, get my jacket, walk out the door, go for my walk. That's built on routine. That is another part of extending my fast. I don't even get up to have a glass of water. I'm literally out the door going for my walk. Usually I'm walking to the gym, which is about a 25-minute walk. I go there, I lift weights, I strength train, and afterwards I walk back home. That's about an hour walk and about 30 minutes in the gym lifting weights. So not only am I doing that in a fasted state, but I am doing something outside of just waiting for time to pass to extend my fast. I'm living my life normally and I'm taking care of myself in other ways than just eliminating food for a period of time. If you can stick with this, you'll realize how important routines are. Now, don't worry so much or give yourself a hard time for not hitting a 42, a 65, or a 90-hour fast just yet. Sure, do it if you can healthily do so, but what I'm trying to do is get you in a habit first. Get into the routine of just logging your times consistently. Can you actually hit a timer, log how long you fasted for, log how long you've refed for, and do this consistently for a week straight? If you can, congratulations, you've been building your fasting muscle. I'm personally on a 423-day streak. But Jerome, I want to fast longer. Okay, who's stopping you? All I ask is if you are not able to do something that long, that you still hit your timer and log your data consistently. Jerome, I have a party to go to on Saturday. I might only be able to fast for 9 hours. Should I still hit a timer? Yes, absolutely. Even more so. Time your fast, time your refeed, and go again. Jerome, I can't get past 16 hours. I want to do 20 hours. If you can do 16, you can do 16 hours and 15 minutes. And when you get there, you'll eventually be able to go for 16 hours and 30 minutes. Build your fasting experience, build your fasting muscle. Build the habit first, optimize later. imperfect consistency. So why am I so obsessed about a timer? Why do I harp about it time and time and time again? And if you know me by now, you probably know the answer to this, but this is for accountability. If you're like me, if you have trouble when it comes to control, especially when it comes to food, especially when it comes to throwing away the day and starting over, hitting a timer and logging your data, logging not just how long you're fasting for, but also logging how long you're eating for is crucial when it comes to control. At least for me. And I'm noticing with people that I work with, it's important for them too. Because for them, it reminds them they're either on the clock fasting or they're on the clock eating. There's a reason I've been logging this time for over 420 days. Yes, it's great data to look over, but it's also really insightful to see when I fast for a shorter amount of time, do I start to gain weight? If I refeed for a longer amount of time and not keep my refeed short, will I gain weight? And in most cases, the answer to both of those are yes. And even though you think that's obvious and apparent, here's the thing. If you're not recording that data, if you're not logging that down, then maybe you're just not being mindful at all. This is accountability in a way that maybe you have never done before, and it's at least worth a shot. The longer I do this, the more I realize how important healthy habits, building healthy habits can be, how important building a routine can be, but at the same time giving yourself grace and learning about imperfect consistency. There's a reason that I'm not so hung up about how long somebody can fast for, but for someone to show me that they can fast on a consistent basis, that they can log their fasts and log their refeeds on a consistent basis, because that shows me that they are willing to work on a new habit, get themselves in a new routine, get themselves in a healthy type of routine. I really do think that many of us, or at least people like me, who have an all or nothing mentality, a black and white type of thinking, are always just striving for perfection. Or are always trying to do the most difficult things and then thinking that it isn't worth it if you can't do it a particular perfect way. And that is why I will always hammer down the point of imperfect consistency. Doing something not perfectly, doing it imperfectly, but being very consistent about it, being very intentional about it. I think those are the things that really matter when it comes down to building these healthy habits. If this sounds like you, if this is somebody that you think you are when it comes to control and maybe needing some help with accountability, yes, I do offer coaching. Please feel free to reach out. There is a link in the description that you can find. When it comes to weight loss, when it comes to fasting, when it comes to accountability, showing up for yourself in a different way, please consider it. Take a look at the link in the description. I will see you in the next one.